The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey, hello, how you doing? This is Rich, and we're here for our Insiders Open Forum, and I don't have any pre-submitted questions, so I am open today to anything you want to talk about. I see a few people on here that normally tend to have some questions. Rich Sirocco, if you are there, you want to ask anything. And I'm here for your marketing convenience, so why don't you either raise your hand and I will unmute you, or if you prefer, you can use the question input box on your console, and we'll see if we have anybody that would like to ask a question or discuss any kind of issue about your business, strategy, anything. And if we don't have any questions, then we will have a very short call today, so it's kind of up to you. So if you'd like to participate, now is your chance. We have quite a few people on the call. Certainly somebody has something they want to talk about. And there's Mr. Rich. Rich, how you doing, man?
Good, Rich. How are you?
Good. Long time no talk.
Yeah, I think it's funny that you picked on me. My wife and I both have the reputation of asking a lot of questions.
Yes, but that's all good.
True. Okay, I got a question. I got a new client who is a coach, and he's pretty much doing things himself. I'm not getting that involved. I'm just kind of guiding him, and he asks questions that sometimes make me think. Like, for example, what's he selling? Is it coaching? Is it a coaching program because he has an affiliation with a company that provides a, quote, coaching or / training program that he buys and then resells? Or is it his time, one-on-one with him that comes with that program? Or is he selling things like success or achievement, more intangible items? And I thought that was a good question.
I'm not quite sure I 100% understand the question. So is he having a question in his mind defining what it is he sells? Is he selling the end result or the product that gets you there? Is that really what you're asking me?
Yeah, that was really, yes. What is going to be in the blue box in the ed spec?
Is he selling a razor or is he selling a clean shave? Is that what you're asking me?
That's it, exactly.
Okay. Well, let's think about it for a minute. Let's take and do a blue box analysis. That's an interesting place to start. So if we put coaching in the blue box, why would John Smith want coaching in the first place? Why would he not want coaching, and why would he want coaching from this guy instead of somebody else? That seems to work. The benefit of ownership is, generally speaking, better results in your business, correct?
Right.
And perhaps he focuses in on some particular thing, whether it's operations or financial management or sales or marketing or something like that. But let's just say, generically speaking, it's better results. So the potential is to take that generic benefit of ownership and put it into the blue box, and I think it becomes a little clunky there. So I think we're probably going to end up with coaching in the box. So we'll talk about that. Coaching. I think coaching is a fairly known entity, so it's not like you're going out there saying, hey, there's coaching available, and people are scratching their head and going, what do you mean? So let's take a look at it from a benefits of ownership standpoint. Why would somebody want to hire a coach in the first place? Go ahead and give me the answers.
You want me to give the answer?
Yeah.
Better, success in life, better family life.
Is this personal coaching or business coaching?
Well, that's a good question. It's personal coaching, but I think that you can't, people that are going to do it are going to be involved in doing a better job at whatever their career is. Like if they're salespeople or if they own a company, they'll be, it'll be kind of, I think it incorporates the professional aspect of anybody who would do it. Don't you agree?
So give me a for instance. Who would hire this person?
A salesman who wants, who wants to blow quota away. And generally speaking, it's probably a better salesman, somebody who's way up there, but he's looking for an edge, and he might go through a different program every year because he wants that edge.
Right.
They might read books in the meantime.
So it seems like first and foremost, this guy is going to need to segment his marketplace so that he can go directly after specific kinds of people with specific kinds of messages. That's the first key.
Right.
So you want to go after salespeople? Great. You want to go after small business owners? Great. You want to go after executives? Fantastic. You want to go after people that, you know, are struggling with depression, whatever, I don't know what it is, but anything that could be specifically delineated and go after those guys specifically, because the message is going to be different. It's going to be vastly different. So what's the biggest, fattest apple on the lowest branch of the tree?
I think it's those successful salespeople that are looking for the edge. You know, they're generally pretty successful, but they're looking for the next step.
Now, tell me this: if a guy was if a customer was a sales guy trying to do better, what kinds of things is this coach going to work with him to help him achieve better results? Give me just like a general idea.
Well, like goal setting. He has a process he calls spaced repetition. He's going to be doing exercises that are very structured. This program he has is very structured. It's a kind of a laid out, tried and true, they've been around 40 years program, and then he's like the facilitator.
Okay, so can I assume that there's accountability that's heavy in this?
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to just throw some words out. I want you to give me a high, medium, or low rating, okay? Accountability.
High.
Yeah, I'm starting with the ones that I already know, just to kind of give you a feel for how this game works. Structure.
High.
Role playing.
Low.
Exercises.
High.
Goal setting.
High.
Daily contact.
Medium.
Weekly contact. Periodic
High.
contact.
High.
Regular contact.
High.
Okay. I honed in on what I was looking for there. Okay. Motivation.
High.
Okay. That's good. So here's what I'm going after here. What are the benefits of ownership of coaching? And we just listed them. Structure, accountability, exercises, goal setting, regular contact, motivation. Now, there's probably others, and I may have even left off some that are really important because I just couldn't think of them off the top of my head. And some of these are certainly going to be more important than others. But here's where I'm going at. I think that a big issue here in this marketing campaign is going to be the following. Objections to ownership. Why would John Smith not want to hire a coach? And the first reason is going to be no perceived need, right?
That's high. Yep, I think
because the person that you're going after is already reasonably at least successful, so they already have some kind of a feel. Well, I've got accountability and exercises and goal setting. I mean, what are you going to teach me about goal setting? I know how to set goals, right?
Yep.
So we've got this no perceived need. Cost probably really isn't that big of an issue once the need and the benefits are clearly understood. How much does this guy charge if I'm a sales guy trying to take it to the next level? What's he going to charge me?
$2,500.
For what?
For the program. And then, you can hire him monthly to do a continuing kind of refresher course.
So how long does the program take?
I think it's a year.
Okay, so $2,500 for a year, right?
Right.
Okay. That sounds cheap. Do you have to pay it all up front, or can you pay it monthly, $200 a month?
I don't think I know the answer to that. I think it's up front.
That's what my recommendation would be.
Because you want that motivation, commitment.
Well, I think, here's what we found out in the Insider program. If we went to somebody and said, it's $2,500, whatever the price is, we'll just use 25 because that's his number. It's $2,500. Give it to me all up front. There's a few people that said, okay, and there's a lot of people that said, that's a lot of money. Not the sum total is a lot, but it's just a lot of money to write a check for or to put on my credit card. So then step 2 is to say, okay, well, it's only $200 a month. And more people said, oh, okay, well, I can afford $200 a month. But then also people got the feeling that, well, if it's $200 a month, then that's a month. And so basically I can quit whenever I want. So after 3 months, they quit. And in their contract, it says they can, but they didn't really perceive it that way. So then we went and we said, okay, here's what it is. It's $2,500 down. Excuse me, it's $2,500. You got to put 20% down. So you got a little bit of extra skin in the game up front. So it's $500 down. And then it's $2,000 paid over 11 payments. And that comes out to, X number of dollars, whatever it is. And this is a workable thing. Here's why. Because now it makes it more affordable because people can pay it out over time. Number 2, they know that it's a program that they're going to have. They're putting more money down up front, so they understand it's a payment plan, not a month-to-month thing. So they may want to explore that. I just am worried that if you go out and say, here's how it works, it's $2,500 or we're not going to do it.
That's a good point. I think I agree with you.
Now, one thing you can do, we do this in MYM, is you can say it's $3,000, and if you pay it all up front, it's only $25. We'll give you a discount. But if you want, we'll finance it for you at 20% down, which is $600, and then 12 additional payments of $200 each for a total of $3,000. And it's a 13-month program, not a 12-month program, whatever. Right?
Makes sense.
That way, it seems like there's a benefit for paying up front. So, and there's a benefit for paying up front. You get to save whatever it is, $500 or something. So anyway, that's not what the whole point of this call is, but that's just a little tidbit for you. But as we get into this, no perceived need. So to overcome this no perceived need, we've got to be able to very quickly start to communicate how this structure, accountability, exercises, goal setting, regular contact, and motivation is going to make a difference. So I think that we're going to be very smart in this marketing. Instead of saying, hey, you'll make more money, hey, you'll be better, I think we'll be better off saying, hey, here's what we do to get you that result of making more money. And this becomes almost a Cliff Notes type of a situation. You remember that, right?
Sure do.
Cliff Notes says, and not necessarily for you, but for the benefit of others who are on the call, maybe not quite as familiar, Cliff Notes simply says, we're going to publish information about how we do what we do so that you can see it, understand it, appreciate it, and hopefully agree with it so that you want to do it. Because if we spend all of our time over here cheerleading, hey, this is get a coach and get better results, it's really not going to work. If we say, hey, get a coach and get better results, immediately the guy's going to say in his mind, well, I don't need one, or, so what are you going to do for me? And now we can come in and say, let me tell you about structure. The number one problem that we find in successful and unsuccessful individuals alike is lack of structure. The more structured an individual is, the more successful he is. But we even find that with successful people, the biggest struggle they have is keeping structure in place. Now, structure is a function of having a definitive plan and having regular accountability. This is probably true. I'm making all this up. I don't really know, but it sounds pretty good. And it really, and lack of motivation really stems from getting off focus because of lack of structure. So motivation will take care of itself if we can put a structure in place that has accountability, regular contact, and some exercises to keep you going. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. For instance, here was a salesperson named John. And John was cruising along at the 80th percentile in his company, his quota for the year was 250,000, and he was regularly hitting 4 to 450. And he was an individual who felt that he was a good goal setter, who was accountable to himself, who had a fair amount of structure. But here's what we found. We found that particularly from our analysis, we found that particularly during the afternoon hours of 2 to 4 p.m., that his concentration waned, that his focus was less, and that his structure went out the toilet. He started spending time on internet searches, on personal business that was easy to do because it was mindless, and on paperwork and other tasks. So what we did is we came in and we structured his day and his plan around making sure that there was specific accountable things to do during this particular window. Now, that may not be your situation. We have to do an evaluation and analysis on you, but this was his situation, and we found that we were able to take this 2 to 4 p.m. block, and particularly as the week wore on, it got harder and harder. Thursday and particularly Friday were almost a complete waste. We were able to increase the productivity during those 2-hour blocks, 10 hours a week, by 250%, and his sales went from 400,000 to 550. Now, I totally made that whole thing up. You know that. But didn't it sound pretty cool and believable and granular and specific and kind of identifiable? You know how I knew to make up that scenario? Because I figured that's probably a pretty common scenario. I suffer from that scenario. I think a lot of people probably do, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So we come in and we give scenarios and we talk about things that people look at and go, wow, yeah, I've recognized that similar kind of thing in my own self, and I've tried to deal with it. Haven't really been able to master it, and you know, maybe there's some value in this. So all I'm trying to say is this: we're going to have to really dig into the how do you do what you do for people to really want to believe that it's going to make a difference for them.
Right. That's the way we do it, right?
It's exactly how we do it. You know, and so then when we get somebody on the phone, we put out our marketing that says, here's kind of what we do, and here's 3 case studies that show some different scenarios, and those 3 case studies need to be sufficiently different, but yet still sufficiently common scenarios that people can see, oh, I kind of identify with one of those maybe, and even if I don't, I see that these are common things, and hey, they're 3 different things, so you know, my thing is a little bit different, but they probably can help me with that too. Then we want to offer them for a consultation. And when we get on the consultation, it's just like the standard MYM flash consultation, right? All right, well, let's talk about your situation. And you would need to create some kind of a standardized quick evaluation. You know, and I might just take these things right here. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, structured, where do you fall? Are you highly structured or not highly structured? Accountability, are you accountable to somebody or not accountable to somebody? You know, goal setting, regular contact, motivation, does it lag? Okay, we find that people tend to lag motivation and productivity during certain times of the day or certain parts of the week or based on certain kinds of events. Can you identify any of those for you? How do you do it? Are you as strong in the afternoon or are you stronger in the mornings? When is your best time to work for you personally? How early do you get up? What time do you go to bed? When do you do this kind of work? When do you do your paperwork? When do you do your personal business? Do you find yourself surfing the internet? And I would just ask all these questions, mostly so that I sound like I'm smart and I sound like I know what I'm doing, right?
Right.
Okay, great. Well, it sounds like, based on what we just talked about, that you need a plan of action that's kind of like this, blah, 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 whatever it looks like. You know, for us to do that for you, we would be in contact with you with this much. We would help you put these kinds of plans together. It would involve this, this, and this. And, you know, we've got a couple different ways you can pay for that. It's $3,000 for the year. If you pay it up front, it's only $2,500. You can put 20% down. It's only $600 down and $200 a month. Now, let me ask you this, John. If you did that, do you think that it would make at least a $200 a month difference in your paycheck? Well, yeah. Okay, so is there any reason you wouldn't want to do this? No. Okay. Give me money then.
So we can just throw tax out the window.
Throw what?
I was trying to be funny.
Oh, no, yeah, throw tax out the window. Yeah, I mean, you would probably be a little more tactful than that, but, you know, not really, not much. So that's kind of how I would attack that. It's the reason it's Cliff Notes is because that's what we, in olden days, and I know you were there for the olden days, we used to call the professional model. The professional model. You sell something that's highly customized, that relies on the expertise of an individual, so we need to make sure that we reveal what our methodology is so that people can understand it and therefore be more willing to want to buy it, instead of just promising a result that they have no idea really how you plan to achieve that result. I'm a money manager. Give me your money and I'll get you great results. Okay, great. How are you going to do that? Well, I'm going to invest it really good. Okay, I understand that, but like what kind of investment strategies are you going to use? Really good ones. The ones that make good returns. Right, that's much I get. What are some of those strategies? Awesome ones. We've got to dig deeper.
Right.
So, give me any more specific questions, and we'll move on. I've got Paul with a question as well.
Okay, I'll pass to Paul.
All right. I wasn't trying to give you the boot. I was just saying, okay, I've kind of come to a conclusion point here. Any other specific questions?
No, I thought that was a good and interesting discussion. We had it at the peer group, and we, I mean, it's kind of like I kicked it around with a couple of people, and I wanted to hear your side of it.
Who's in your peer group these days?
Well, let's see. Arnie, Barry, Brett, Todd, Gary, Bud. Who else?
The usual crew.
Beth. Yeah, the crew.
Who's Todd? Todd who?
Todd Bray.
Oh, Todd Bray. Well, tell Todd Bray hello for me.
Okay. I talked
to him in a while. Most of these other guys I talk to occasionally. Beth Knable?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't talked to her lately either. Tell her hi for me too. Everybody else tell him. Rich doesn't say hi to you because he's already said hi to you recently.
Okay. I'll tell him on Tuesday. I'm leaving town today.
Okay, well, good to talk to you again, and we'll talk to you next time. I'm going to go ahead and hop over here now to, oh, well, you know what? We had another one with a question, but he's now dropped off. So, anyone else? I see a few others that have typically asked some questions in the past. Anyone? We'll give it the old Bueller, and if none, we will punt. Okay. Well, that's it. If you've got anything else you'd like to run past me, feel free to send me an email or give somebody in our office a shout, and we'll talk to you that way. But until then, appreciate you being an Insider member. We've got a webinar, let's see, next week on the 21st, we've got a Tuesday morning ad clinic, and we've also got an interesting webinar on publicity stunts on Thursday. So we'll talk to you then. Thanks so much. Bye now.
The organizer has ended